As a result, LNG1 conquered all of Murim and began to spend time alone with 7 wives. Thanks for reading the work in full are written on the screen. At the same moment, a questioning cry from the main character is heard. He is extremely dissatisfied with the ending of an excellent work into which the author put his soul and all of himself. The guy, unable to contain his rage, throws his phone straight onto the table without calming down or trying to hide his dissatisfaction, while it is difficult to say whether the smartphone will survive this battle. What kind of damn novel is this after all? There is not even a hint of a sequel. If the author sets an age limit, he himself should at least understand its meaning. Damn. Before buying all the chapters, you should have read a brief description of the plot first, the guy says, dissatisfied. He's going to read other people's reviews. Without comment, apparently, the author of the work is the same loser as the main character. But it cannot be that he is the only person who bought and read this novel. Bursting with evil laughter, the young man says that he will make the author experience the same thing as him. After which he writes a praising comment. Such a bit strange logic. The guy wrote about how he admires the work and that he would dream of being in the place of the main character when he gets to Murim. Surprisingly, the author of the novel almost immediately responds to the comment. He thanks the young man for appreciating his work. Yeah, he did, the young man says sarcastically. The author reads the comments. He has nothing better to do, the guy adds. What nonsense. The author of the novel writes that he will make the young man's wish come true and take him to the created world. Is it really that simple? Without a visa, without documents, immediately into another world. In truth, the novel deviated quite a lot from how it was originally intended. After this comment, the young man's head began to spin and his legs gave way. If the guy goes to the beginning of the novel and corrects what went wrong, the author will generously reward him. What is happening? Why is the young man seeing comments in his head? What? The last few phrases were already projected in the head of the main character. The author of the novel learned telepathy from videos from the internet. Jung Sam rises. The loud voice of a bearded man is heard, waving his hand. Why the hell should he repeat, who the hell is this, a low-grade actor or something? What's going on? He's not the only one dressed so strangely. It's a costume party. Thoughts don't stop attacking the guy's brain. Whole crowds of strangely dressed people stood around him. While the young man named Jung Sam was perplexed by what was happening, a healthy man with a beard and strange clothes lightly gave a awakening slap to Jung's cheek. How much more does the man have to repeat for the guy to get his act together? The guy in turn asks who this guy is, why he's beating him in the first place, and demands that he stop. Quite unexpectedly, the bearded big man burst into tears. What's wrong with him, Jung Sam wonders. It looks like he really is some kind of actor or confused him with someone. Another actor's slap lands on the guy's cheek, which is of course faked and doesn't do any damage. How can he not remember it? The man shouts. The crowd began to whisper. Jung is increasingly losing his memory. Now he even forgot Master Ju. I feel sorry for him. It must be painful. Maybe the master should be stopped. Stop. They call the young man Jung Sam. But this is the main character of such a stupid novel, on which the young man spent a lot of money saved from instant noodles. According to the plot, Zhang is the first student of the head of the Chunmo Alliance, Li Jae-1. What happens in the end? Who are all these people, fans of that novel who organized the meeting? No, stop, the young man appeared here too unexpectedly. Did he really end up in this stupid novel, in the body of the main character, a disciple of the head of the Heavenly Sword? Master Ju finally stopped attacking the young man's cheeks and asks if he has come to his senses. His head is spinning. It seems the guy sees Jung Sam's memories. Exactly. These memories, the young man's mind has gone through synchronization, and this bearded big man, the big dominant sword, Ju Quan. Now the guy knows who it is, but how is this possible? Well, he finally came to his senses, the bearded man says calmly. The frightened guy asks what kind of place this is. In response, the big man says that this is the Great Alliance of Chunmo. The guy can read the writing of this world. Apparently this is because of Jung Sam's memories, and this place, he is now in a sparring arena, just like the UFC. And yet why is he here? What the hell is going on here? Just the young man thought that the author was able to move him to another world, when a woman's voice was heard from behind him. Turning around, a girl as beautiful as a flower appeared before the guy's eyes, calling him pathetic. What does she want? Why is she so rude? Before he had time to ask, she continued. Well, how long is he going to stand still and waste time, damn it? The young man thinks to himself. This girl is also from that absurd novel, and she is not so simple. Before he could say her name, the satisfied crowd chanted him, Righteous L and defeated Zhang Sama, in which she won. They didn't even start. The judges were definitely bought. That's right. Her name is L and Ye Sol, one of the main characters of that work and the first daughter of the strongest man on this earth named Li Jae-wan. It's rubbish. What does she want? The girl turns to the guy. He really considers himself a student of her father. With his pitiful skills, and she is good, the young man hastens to justify himself by calling her sister. But L&E shuts Zhang's mouth, saying that he doesn't dare call her sister. She is ashamed that in their great clan, there is such a person who trains so poorly. If a young man has a conscience, he should give up his position as the first disciple and leave this clan. It is enough to disgrace the glorious name of the Chunmo Alliance, the girl continues. The matter is rubbish. The guy again tries to calm L and asks to listen to him at least a little. He can explain everything, but makes a fatal mistake, again calling her sister. Without further ado, the girl did not tolerate such insolence from someone who does not deserve to call her sister. Lee Seol delivers a precise blow to the most important area. The guy flew back and fell on his back. All the men within a radius of 10 kilometers felt this pain, and anyone who saw him most likely could not hold back his tears. The situation is critical. The collision happened directly on the shells when they were on alert because of the girl's appearance. One can only hope that they did not crash. Screaming, asking his sister to stop, Zhang Sam woke up in another unknown place. Apparently he doesn't learn from mistakes at all, since he called her sister after a warning. It looks like he passed out, the young man thinks to himself. Because of this stupid novel, he is constantly crippling. But what exactly happened? He really ended up in the world of Murim. First, you need to understand what is happening now. It seems this crazy author asked the guy to correct some mistake in the world he created. Maybe there is a way to contact him. In the novel, Zhang Sam was the first student in name only, but in reality he was a secondary character. A student of the main character, he did not even study martial arts. It turns out that the young man has become a character with the most mediocre abilities, who can do very little. Most likely, the author intended him for only one chapter. Even if the guy knows the content of the novel, he is a complete ignoramus in battles. But more importantly, at the end of the novel, L and E were only a child. Apparently 10 years have passed since the end. What the fuck is this damn stupid writer fanfiction? Did not make him into some kind of strong character, but only expendable secondary material, the young man screams. So he still wants the guy to correct his mistakes in his own novel. He's completely insolent. Let him just send him home. Zhang Sam continues to shout furiously. But then there is a knock on the door. Have the neighbors really called the police? The young man nervously asks who is there. The person behind the door introduces himself as Ping Ji Yong. Zhang repeats the girl's name to himself several times until he remembers. Exactly, Ji Yong is a second-rank martial artist. But why is she here? Did she really hear the screams? The girl carefully opens the door, worried about the guy. He asks her to go into the room, having received permission. Ji slowly crosses the threshold and affectionately addresses Zhang Gege. She asks if the young man is okay. He is carried away by his thoughts. It's just incredible. Another beautiful flower. She looks just perfect, so gentle, kind, and caring. Stop. Wait. This can't be true. Are they really meeting otherwise? Why did she come? Maybe the events of the novel that are not written by the author are building up on their own. Ji-young asks not to worry about today. Lee Sol grew up from childhood near her mother, the Queen of 1,000 Blades. Her nickname speaks for itself. She quickly learned from experience, trained, and took all kinds of development pills. She cannot be compared with Zhang Sham. They live by different values. The young man does not know at all how to react in such a situation. He has only seen communication with girls on the internet. Ji-young asks if he really didn't miss her at all. Ji approached the guy again, affectionately saying that she was not upset. She was more worried that Zhang's cheeks were a little hurt, and added that her kiss could help. What is happening, the young man wonders. Shouldn't this world be Murim because of her? The combat installation can come into readiness. This is all because of the setting of the novel. So, in this world, they really are dating, and Ji-young loves Zhang Sama, the guy thought, and the girl at the same moment kissed him affectionately. It seems that everything is fine with the face, says Ji, and then asks if something else is bothering the young man. She is happy to help him. Apparently, she is using a healing technique. The girl continues to heal the wounds of Zhang Sam, who was crippled this evening. They are not deep and do not require serious treatment, she thinks so kindly to himself, the guy. The time has come to move on to sparring in order to train the layman in martial arts, but when he sees the weapon that the young man uses, Ji-young is very surprised. Such a girl. In the guy's home world, she would definitely be a celebrity in no other way. It would be difficult to fight with her. Maybe this world is not as bad as he thought after all. Although he was beaten thoroughly today, he is still the first disciple of the head. Although only in words, as expected, Ji-young is not just an opponent. She definitely knows quite a few techniques. But this is simply incredible. The combat experience passes through Jung's entire body, and the girl doesn't even use all her strength, but she intends to help him relieve stress. This is his chance. He intends to fight to the last in order to master martial arts and become many times stronger. Then he will be able to challenge that arrogant L and E to a fight. Ji-young notices that the young man is fighting seriously and does not intend to retreat. Although this is just a friendly sparring, he is usually not so assertive. Damn, Jang-sum thinks to himself. She seems to have noticed that he is not going to retreat and that he is fighting at full strength no matter how she moves on to serious techniques. Great. The young man is slowly snatching victory, even knowing that the guy is fighting with all his might. Apparently this was too unexpected a transition, and Ji-young loosened her grip. Jung-sam begins to like this unusual world more and more because he has a chance to learn martial arts with the help of such a sweet girl. Victory in this world, and he and his opponent are exhausted, but she is happy that Jung has finally begun to train seriously. Now he will definitely become stronger. But he didn't think that this was all that the girl was capable of. Grinning at Ji-young announces the start of the second round. Now she is definitely going to give it her all. It can't be. The guy flashes through his head. She hid such power, so this is what they are. Martial arts of the East. Now defeating her is on the verge of the impossible. Jung-sam and Ji-young trained until late at night. In the end, there was no winner, and they both fell down exhausted and slept until the morning. This world is not so bad. She woke up the young man L and E Sol with two subordinates, who burst into his room in the morning, knocking down the door. "Here he is, this bastard," she screamed. The stunned guy almost flew up from such an awakening. It already began to seem to him that he was just dreaming, that he had found himself in the world of a novel. But he quickly came to his senses. "Now it's time to catch him," shouts L and E. The young man has nowhere to run. He should surrender on good terms, adds Lee, threateningly pointing the blade directly at him. The guy is perplexed and asks to explain what kind of scoundrel he is. The girl continues to threaten him with her sword. Last night they were together with Peng Ji-young. This morning a missing persons report was received, and the main suspect, Jung-sam, the one who was last alone with Ji-young, where the kidnapped woman is now, is interrogating Lee Ye's boyfriend. What? What kind of kidnapping? What does he have to do with it? What's going on? Why are they threatening him again and accusing him of something? The author is clearly sick. The young man was mistaken. He doesn't love Murim. Lee Ye-sol and her subordinates are about to take Jung out of his room. In an attempt to justify himself, he glances around the room, but Ji-young is really nowhere to be found. "What a bastard he is," says L and E. "This was the last straw. The guy kidnapped her, and since he doesn't want to confess to what he did, he will appear before the judge right now." Jung-sam tried to say that he and Ji-young were dating, and that last night they were just practicing martial arts, but the girl no longer wanted to listen to his words. In the end, she ordered her subordinates to capture him and bring him to justice right now. What kind of madness is going on now? The young man thinks. The courtroom, the head of the clan calmly greets the guy. She did not expect to meet the guy again, moreover, in such an environment. But still they met. Jung-sam falls at the feet of the judge, assuring that there was a mistake. He never committed such sins. This is all slander, and he is not guilty. The head only looks sternly at the young man. But the woman's gaze softens. She also believes that Jung-sam is not capable of such a thing. The ruling party will handle the investigation. The guy shouldn't worry. In the end, she adds that she is the head of the defense, exactly. L and Jae-won's second wife, Pyong-ga-ryung. Jung's memories pop up in his head again. The woman's words calmed the young man, because if you think about it, wasn't Jung-sam a great disciple of Lord Chomu? This misunderstanding will definitely be resolved. The interrogation process has begun. Master Ju asks the young man to sit opposite him and say his name. Apparently he was hit on the head during training. He asks whose name he should say. "His name is an idiot," the bearded man replies angrily. Why is this youth making him repeat himself again? Jung hesitantly introduces himself as the Vice Lord. He's completely dumbfounded. He shouts to Ju and demands to tell him his name, and not to pretend to be a fool. The guy says Jung-sam in fear. The next question is, what did the young man do last night, as the bearded man knows? After he was beaten by L and E Sol, Jung slept in his room. The guy answers. A dissatisfied Ju demands to continue. This could not be all, to which the young man awkwardly declares that the next part is his personal life, and he cannot tell. Unable to contain his rage, the bearded man recalled his best acting technique of slaps on the cheeks, after which Jung-sam, who did not understand the essence of the interrogation, took flight. The bearded man is called Master Ju for a reason. Just a light touch of his palm on the stupid young man's cheek was enough for him to hit the floor with his forehead. The man sternly states that Jang should be more serious now, because in this situation he is not his teacher and not the guard who will take care of him. Now the guy is under interrogation. He is suspected of serious sins. If it turns out that he is involved in the kidnapping of poor Peng Ji-young, he faces serious consequences. Now, he should not play the fool. Ju says that the young man is facing a fair trial. Yesterday he lost to L and E, who is younger than him, after which he kidnapped the girl to deal with his anger. Jang Sam's mind did not know what to do with his inferiority complex. It became clouded and he chose a victim who was much weaker than him. He challenged Ji-young to a duel and then kidnapped her. What he's talking about is running through the guy's head. It's not true. How can he believe in it? Jang sent a letter to Ji-young with a challenge and lured her into a trap. Ju continues. The situation is getting out of under control. The young man feels danger. They are definitely trying to set him up. Where is common sense here? The guy screams. He and Ji-young love each other. But the bearded man silences the suspect. In the kidnapped room, the guards found a letter from Zhang where he asks for help with martial arts to become stronger. But he didn't write this. The guy justifies himself, to which Ju replies that this is his handwriting, and from that moment, from the status of an accused, he receives the status of a criminal. This is all a conspiracy. They are trying to slander the poor young man, who would just search a girl's room early in the morning. Why would he even write this letter in that case? Isn't the person who discovered the letter? The most likely suspect continues to be indignant at Jang Sam. Who is it? Who found it? But the bearded man just grinned. Penga Ryong clan, Aunt Peng Ji-young, naturally she was worried about her niece, who did not return home until late. Then she found a letter in her room.
In his head, the young man was already imagining a bed in a damp prison. He realized that Jang had run out of arguments and began to move on to completing this interrogation.
It was then that the guy realized that that woman had decided to set him up and get rid of him. The red beard left him alone, and he went to the head of the clan with a report. Ga-ryung allows Master Ju to go into her room, but without giving him a word, she immediately asks how the interrogation process is going. Jang Sam is the only suspect, to which he replies that the young man is a little stubborn and has not yet been able to achieve the desired answer. But if the investigation requires it, then they will shake out all the information from him. But there is something that worries Ju. Is it really necessary to get rid of the guy? The head's view changes. She is clearly not happy with this answer, but the bearded man has the right to his opinion. If Ga-ryung's daughter wants to become Lord Cheongmu's successor, the great disciple Jang Sam will be a big problem, the head says. She will use hypnosis techniques and subjugate Ju. The bearded man, who has fallen under the influence of the technology, cannot look away. His feelings are under the complete control of the head. She demands to destroy the guy, to which the man agrees. The girl has still not been found, and Jang Sam does not know her whereabouts since he is the main suspect. Most likely he will be tortured until Ji-young's whereabouts are clarified.
How can an innocent young man... This situation, there is no longer any trust in him and he cannot prove his innocence unless he himself finds the criminal, but how?
Stop. Just like the young man didn't think about it right away, there is a way to save his skin. Jang screams joyfully and hits the table with his fists out of emotion, which makes it stick together. According to the plot of the novel, Jang Sam is a great disciple of leader Lee Jae, one who represents his party. It is impossible to get rid of his disciple without investigating his case. It turns out that JW is the only one who can help the young man and save his situation. He is away now, but he can't be away for too long. He just has to wait. Praise to the author of stupid fanfiction, the guy screams. He has a chance for salvation. He just needs to hold out until his teacher returns, then he will stand up for him. But there is something else. The place where L and Jae-won hide secret elixirs. He does not allow a single living soul to access them. It is a closed area for everyone. But that's not all. Jang Sam spent his last money on all the chapters of that novel, and he read it completely, which means he will be able to get into the secret room with elixirs. It's good that they considered that the young man was not capable of escape and left the door open. He carefully leaves the interrogation room and moves towards his goal with light steps. Damn. One awkward movement and the floor makes a loud creak. Something Jang has never trained in is silent movement. Who would have thought that it would be needed? The guards who were supposed to guard the entrance to the interrogation room reacted to the noise, but apparently today they were going to forget about their duties since they left their post. The guy counts to 3, after which he immediately delivers an unexpected blow to one of the guards from around the corner. Those training sessions with Peng Ji-young were not in vain. The second blow was even more unexpected. Anyone would have expected the use of some kind of energy technique, but Jang simply slapped the guard on the cheek like Master Ju. Both guards are defeated. It's not for nothing that the young man is called a great student. The only thing left to do is not to make any more noise. He pulls off the clothes and weapons from one of the guards. In his new guise, the young man strikes a cool pose and gives out an equally cool phrase like in some action movie, "Nothing personal, now he just needs to survive." But the pathos quickly passes. Now it's worth thinking about Friend. Even though he stole the guard's uniform, will he be able to escape unnoticed and find the secret room? In any case, now you need to calm down. It is unlikely that they will immediately notice his disappearance, and if you need to fight, he will definitely defeat a couple of opponents. All that remains is to go through this damn door. When a friendly address is heard from behind the guy, the stranger asks if Sunbae Nim is really leaving so early. Jang Sam hesitantly says that he just forgot something and will return to his post very soon and asks the stranger to cover him just once, to which he agrees without any problems. But still, something is a little strange, the guy says. Did he really suspect something? Jang broke out in a cold sweat from fear. He turned around and asked what was wrong. Normally, Sunbae Nim would call a stranger a jerk and treat his hubei like he was worthless. At least none of the Sunbaes would be that polite. Well, why can't everything go according to plan? Jang Sam immediately takes off and tries to run away, but the guard immediately sounds the alarm, shouting that the criminal is trying to escape. At the last moment, he manages to dodge an unexpected attack with a spear. Hell, just a little more, and the attack would have taken the young man by surprise, and he would not have gotten off so easily. The spear still hit Jang and left a deep wound. Now all of his movement will be more difficult, not to mention escaping. We urgently need to come up with something. The spearman says that he rushed here as soon as he heard that the criminal was escaping, but he never thought that this criminal would be the divine heavy sword. This is a big misunderstanding. Ju Song-gan is some kind of conspiracy here, shouts Jang Sam, trying to stall for time to come up with a way out of this unfortunate situation. Everyone knows that the guy is a pathetic non-entity, says the spearman, but to kidnap him because of his own weakness is the most pathetic thing in the world, adds Sun-gan. The memories come back completely. Now standing in front of Jang is the first leaf of the mountain peak rank great dragon, Ju Song-gan, or in short, it's a complete ass. Without giving even a minute to think, Sun immediately strikes, trying to end everything as quickly as possible, but Jan even now manages to successfully dodge, moreover, without receiving damage. The young man grabs a sword that was recently stolen from a guard. He is ready to fight for his life. Well, one of all the characteristics, sword control comes out best for him. The matter is rubbish, Jang understands. This spearhead the idiot immediately begins to hit with all his might. He is not going to drag out the fight at all, so now is the time to reap the benefits of training. The young man turns out to be not stupid. He immediately closes the distance with the spearman, not allowing him to swing his spear, which makes Song-gang very angry. He calls the guy a bath leaf. Jang swings his sword, provoking his opponent with words, and he would move away from the spearman, to which he says that the guy's attacks are pointless. His sword is finished, as is his pathetic attempt. To which the young man declares with a grin that this is not scary at all, because his goal is not victory. Immediately after the attack, directing the energy down through the sword, he soars into the air right onto the roof. Song-gan is a serious warrior. He asks Jang to pull himself together and not fool around anymore. He says that now he will show him his own technique, the tide of a large dragon. He has a spear instead of brains, what an idiot. The guy says that he won't look at anyone's dragon. Sun is clearly not right in the head since he started talking about this in battle. Unhappy Song-gan shouts after the young man that he misunderstood everything, and in general he turned his back on his enemy, to which Jang replies that he just needs to get out of here. Surprisingly, the guy thought that that wound would slow him down greatly and he wouldn't even be able to walk normally. But the wound managed to close. It's not for nothing that this is the body of the great student of L and J Wan. The guards are sounding the alarm. The divine heavy sword has escaped from imprisonment. It is urgent to catch it. But the young man believed in his strength and is now going to find Garayan. After all, if this woman really conspired against him, she definitely cannot be left without attention. Jang Sam is serious about revenge. He will show her his techniques. The young man entered the judicial building and hid on the roof, but damn, there is no one here. After learning about the guy's escape, this woman began to fear for herself. Great! Shi Pyonga Ryang showed up, and moreover not alone, but with this bearded freak. After all, they are at the same time. The young man uses concealment of the body so that he cannot be detected. Ga Ryung pours herself some hot tea while scolding Ju Kwana. He must find Jang Sam and destroy him, but he still has doubts about the last point. To which the head sternly replies, apparently Ju has not yet realized that if Yuna becomes the head of the alliance, then the first student, Jang Sam, will pose the biggest threat to her position. The bearded man calls the head of Pyonga Ryong madam and says that he understands her concerns, but is it worth the risk after all, once the Lord finds out what they are trying to do? The woman grins, puts on a bandage, and asks Ju Kwana comes closer. She wants to fight him to show how strong and fearless she is. But she warns that even blindfolded, she does not lose her fighting abilities, but on the contrary, this is her secret technique. Ju Kwan takes a fighting stance. He accepts the mistress's challenge. It is a great honor for him, but he understands perfectly well that he will definitely not be able to win. But before the bearded man had time to engage in a duel, subordinates began to break into the door, shouting that they had an emergency situation and urgent intervention was required from the master. Ju says that if it's something not serious, he will kill the guard. He reports that the criminal kidnapper Jang Sam has escaped. The master tells Ga Ryung that he will return soon. So this means it's true. These vile scoundrels have conspired against him. The young man watching everything that's happening thinks to himself, now he definitely intends to take revenge. But was she really going to fight Ju? Kwan blindfolded. It seems she said that this is part of her secret technique and this only makes her stronger. Wait a minute. But Jang Sam is not obliged to fight with her according to the rules. From the novel he read, he knows many strong techniques, even if he is a novice in martial arts. The young man comes down from the roof and confidently walks straight towards Pyonga Ryong. He uses a transformation technique that changes his voice and appearance. He is serious for the first time. The woman justifies her words regarding her strength. She did not need sight to know that Ju Kwan is back. She offers to continue what they started. She is, of course, a complete psychopath, but Zhang has already decided everything for himself. He is going to do this. Namely, pretend that she has the advantage, and then win. She gets rid of people so easily, makes conspiracies and gets away with it, the young man thought while exchanging blows. No, things definitely won't work that way. Stop playing by her rules. The guy suddenly increases the pace and delivers a serious blow that reaches the goal, but the head just grins. It can't be. Apparently she likes it. Apparently, even using tricks, it won't be so easy to win. But since she is so confident in her victory, then it's worth continuing to unexpectedly attack her weak points. Penga Ryung grins. She clearly enjoys the battle and does not feel danger at all. Most likely she has not had a worthy opponent for a long time, no matter how she is the head of the clan. But this is her main mistake. She is sure that she is fighting with Ju Kwan. Thanks to that technique, this is perhaps Jang Sam's only chance to defeat such a strong opponent. When Ju learned this fighting style, he became much stronger. The woman reflects, she has never experienced such pleasure from a one-on-one duel. With every attack, the bearded man gay. It's becoming more and more difficult for Ryan to dodge, and she has less and less opportunities to successfully attack in response. Can he really defeat her now? Gradually, she begins to worry. The young man's attacks hit the painful points. The head is finding it increasingly difficult to move. This is a friendly duel. The woman was going to show her strength. Jang Sam laughs loudly. Apparently this idiot was in vain boasting about her secret technique. It doesn't save her that much. Revenge is already close. She can't get out of it. In the end, Pyonga Ryung feels fear. She understands her situation and screams for Ju Kwan slowed down. Otherwise he would cripple her. But this only made the young man laugh. But what is this? It seems that even though the head said that the guy is too strong, now she is asking to fight with all her might. She looks different. Is this really her secret technique? The young man was already fighting with all his might, but after the woman used her technique, it became clear that the real fight had just begun. But it was too late to retreat. Using dirty tricks, one gets the impression that even in such a heated battle, the guy has a chance. With the help of technology, he immobilized the head's body. But doubts creep into Jang Sam's head as to whether she is really fighting with all her might, considering that just recently she had no strength, and now Ga Ryung is as good as new. Mistakes must not be made, the young man thinks, after which he uses an unexpected technique, but one will not be enough. The seal must be removed and her technique weakened. It was a success. The seal was removed. It took a lot of effort. But now the secret technique that Penga Ryung was so proud of is not active. It will weaken, and then victory will be Jang's.